Dermot, Sal, thank you for joining me today on Pop Culture Unplugged.
Elias, great to be here.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thanks for having us.
I was just telling Sal I watched this last night. I enjoyed the movie. I can't wait to see what more viewers say about this film once it drops everywhere.
Well, it's such a terrific combination of thriller and hot topics, and I think I think it's a wonderful film in that genre where you just don't know what's coming next and who done it, and great thrill twists at the end.
Right, right. Sal, let's start with you first. The film has got such a unique tone. Everybody's calling it the Jewish Western. With themes of justice, community, and faith. Like, what inspired Guns N' Moses, and where did this story begin with you?
Judaism, the Jewish community is very important to me. I'm an influencer. I teach Torah every day. I have 1 million followers on Facebook, a few 100,000 more on other platforms. And sharing the wisdom of this unbroken tradition is very important to me. And I'm a movie director, and I wanted to make a thriller. My wife and I wrote it together. We wanted to make a thriller. And to prepare for this, we set up a projector in our living room, and we watched
Okay.
a thriller a day for 2 years.
Wow.
It's my favorite genre, and we went back to film school and studied the genre, studied the greats, and wanted to do justice not only to the Jewish tradition but to the cinema tradition. And I hope we succeeded.
Well, Dermot, Alan, he's a character. He kicks off the film with, I would say, a lot of generosity. The beginning. Like, what intrigued you about this role? And how did you first connect with Sal and the project?
Thank you. Well, the project has so many appealing parts in it. In fact, that we've been discussing working together for a while.
Okay.
Like I won't say all because many of the characters in the film are quite direct, but you're looking for who maybe has more than one truth and what maybe they're hiding. So
Mm,
thank you. The character of Alan Rosner is essential to the film and remains that way throughout. He reveals unstable family ties, economic corruption, government
yeah.
backstabbing, and all of the above.
Mm,
So it's a great character that's central to the whole film.
mm. This question is for both of you. Whoever wants to jump in first. The party scene, goes from like celebration to tragedy in a few seconds. Like it shifts the tone of the movie. Also, like, how did you guys work together to build the tension in that moment?
I mean, for that moment to work, for that scene to work, Dermot's character is the guy that everybody talks about
Uh,
before you meet him, right? So it builds up a tremendous expectation, and then he delivers. When you finally meet him, it's even better. The anticipation is worth it. And that's not easy to do. And it's also, when Dermot plays a role like this, it's a mystery thriller. So he's playing two roles simultaneously.
uh,
It's a big challenge. It's what's going on the surface, what's going on beneath, that we're going to spend time uncovering, as a rabbi becomes a detective.
mm,
So to make that scene work was delicate. And, it's an independent movie. So if Hollywood was doing that on a 3 month schedule, we would have had a week to shoot that scene. And we didn't have a week. And thank God for the generosity and preparedness of Dermot, Neil, and Mark, and all the actors in the scene.
And
mm.
Christopher Lloyd, who I had the pleasure of working with
Right.
I think just the second time because we were in Angels in the Outfield together. So a movie also with a really strong message about listening to your community and your inner strength.
Mm. Dermot, Alan survives the attack, right? And there's an unease about him afterwards. Like, how did you represent the symbol of trust and hidden tension between this character?
Well, there's a strong bond between the two brothers
Mm.
that's central to the film too. So you'll have to see how that plays out when you catch the film July 18th.
There you go. Faith and firearms don't often share, screen spaces. What kind of conversations do you guys have with the actors and about handling these elements respectfully in this series, in this film?
I'll say that I didn't grow up around guns. It's something that made me very uncomfortable growing up. As the danger to the Jewish community increased in the world, I'm an Orthodox Jew. We're the visible Jews, so the danger is even that much more real. And so many of us have gone through the training and become volunteers In our case, an organization, McDonough, that trains and licenses guys to protect our communities. Big churches, big synagogues can afford armed guards in front. Small ones can't. So it's up to the community members to do that. When we were shooting the movie, it was in the wake, not too distant, of a terrible accident that happened on a movie set. Where cinematographer, a young and very promising cinematographer, was killed in an accident. So when we were going to have a lot of firearms use in our movie, it was something we're very serious about. And because, I've gone through so much training, I added a step that any weapon that came onto the set had to be shown to me before it was placed in the hands of an actor. We had 2 armorers on set, incredible safety protocols. There have always been safety protocols, but we took it that much more seriously.
Dermot, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, if we're talking gun safety on set, that's something, yes, that's been hyper important to me from the very beginning. Early films, even, I recall, it's of course up to the group and up to the safety protocols in the film, but ultimately it's up to what Sal says, visuals and yeah, just do it the right way, that where everything works out like it did on this film. And of course, now, thank goodness, there's almost no reason to fire a projectile on a set. Sal will tell you the remarkable ways they make it look like that something's coming out of that the weapon, with visual effects and with special effects on the set, etc. So that's how it's done, and it's portraying a gun wielding character, I have to say, has been it's caused friction within me for decades. I'll leave it at that.
Definitely. I like how, this, now you mentioned Christopher Lloyd earlier, but let's not forget about Neil McDonough. I love him. I've had him on the show before. Great guy. Sal, no pressure, but how did you figure out the right fit for Alan with Dermot?
Like I said before, he's got to play 2 roles at the
Yeah.
same time. It takes nuance, it takes depth. And we needed somebody who could do that, on our tight shooting schedule. And, the difference between the surface, what's going on beneath, there also has to be like a charm. I mean, in that scene when Neil McDonough and Dermot Mulroney meet, when the mayor and Alan meet, and there's quite a bit going on between them. We sense immediately the subtext. Then it shifts abruptly, and the rabbi is reeling. He doesn't know what to do. This is such a big night for him. It's a great scene. It's a fun scene, and it's right at the top of the movie, and people are going to enjoy it.
And for me, working the second time with Neil McDonough, you really, as Sal saw, the way we behaved with one another on the set, we're really close. But you feel that too, that genuine connection. And as you mentioned, there are lots of other threads underneath their relationship. But I was in a film with Neil previously called The Warrant, which is a wonderful Western, which of course this film has elements of. So it was like working with family, and you get a sense of that in that scene that we have together, and that threads throughout the film.
Well, let's end this with this then. What do you hope, both of you, what do you hope the viewers get out of this when they tune in to watch this?
Dermot, do you want to go first?
Well, I would add that this film has come out, that we filmed this film before events intensified in the Middle East, and so it's ringing other bells than it was intended to. So as an artist, as filmmakers, we're ready for anything. That's why you put your voice out there. This movie it has a very strong message of community and listening to both sides. In this case, there's corruption and family betrayals and all that. But it has become a more intense film, and and it's incredible to be an artist and filmmaker at this time in any way.
So
yeah, and I'll just add that some of the hate that we find in the movie, like in the real world, is stoked by online communities that profit, literally profit, from keeping us divided, keeping us terrified and furious at each other. And that when people actually meet whom they've learned to hate, and break bread with them, it's a whole new world, a whole new relationship. Then real learning can happen. Then people can grow, and then peace can happen.
Amazing.
But until then, we got to be prepared.
That's right. Dermot and Sal, I want to thank you for giving a few minutes today. Good luck with the film. I can't wait to see everybody's reaction.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.